Reversing Biological Age, the 2026 Protocols, the Science of Cellular Time Travel and Epigenetic Reprogramming. The biological lie, your birth certificate is a legal fiction. Your birth certificate records a number, your chronological age. It marks the number of times the planet has completed a revolution around a star since you emerged from the womb. But in the realm of advanced longevity, this number is a biological lie. Chronological age is a secondary metric, the only data point that dictates your future health, your cognitive window. Your physical sovereignty is your biological age. This is the real measurement of your cellular health, mitochondrial efficiency, and genomic stability. Ask yourself, is my body truly aging in sync with my calendar? If the answer is uncertain, you are at risk. Most people are operating on outdated biological software, completely unaware of the silent, exponential decline occurring at the cellular level. They accept the standard trajectory of decay, the loss of muscle, the fog of the mind, the erosion of the spirit has an inevitability. CTA, we do not accept the standard trajectory. If you refuse to be a victim of time, you belong here. Subscribe to Human Code. We provide the high-density technical blueprints required to master the human machine and reclaim your biological prime. Understanding the epigenetic clock, the information theory of aging to reverse aging, we must move beyond the wear and tear myths and understand the information theory of aging. Think of your DNA as a digital hard drive. It contains the fixed code for your entire existence. However, the difference between a youthful, high-performing cell and a senescent, dying cell is not the hardware. It is the epigenome, the software that tells your cells which genes to express. Over time, this software becomes corrupted. Environmental stressors, oxidative damage, glucose volatility, and chronic cortisol act as digital noise. Through a process called DNA methylation, small chemical tags attach to your DNA, silencing youthful genes and activating pathways of decay. Cellular amnesia. The result of this noise is cellular amnesia. A skin cell begins to lose the instructions that make it a skin cell. A neuron in your prefrontal cortex begins to lose the ability to fire with precision. Energy production in the mitochondria drops because the manual for ADP synthesis is now illegible. The breakthrough, but here is the engineering reality. The epigenome is malleable. Unlike your DNA sequence, methylation is reversible. You don't need to change your hardware. You need to clean the software, restore the signaling pathways, and hit the reset button on your cellular clock. This is the foundation of cellular time travel. Measurement matters. The Dunedin-Pache protocol in engineering, you cannot optimize what you do not measure. Most people rely on standard blood panels tools designed to detect if you are already dying, not how fast you are aging. To the 1%, these are insufficient. To know your true biological velocity, we utilize Dunedin-Pache, the speedometer of human aging, developed from the longitudinal Dunedin study. This epigenetic clock doesn't just give you a snapshot of your age. It measures the pace of aging POA. The biological speedometer levels 1, 0. You are aging at exactly 1 biological year per calendar year. You are meeting the average expiration date. 1.2. You are hyperaging. You are burning through your biological capital 20% faster than the clock suggests. This is the result of metabolic chaos and high stress. 0.70. The elite zone. You are aging only 8 months for every 12 months that pass. This is where biological reversal begins. Establishing your Dunedin-Pache baseline is the mandatory first step in our protocol. Without data, every supplement you take, whether it's NMN or Ficodin, is a blind guess. With data, every intervention becomes a precise adjustment to your biological trajectory. Clearing zombie cells, senescence, and the SASP aging is accelerated by the accumulation of senescent cells. These are damaged cells that have reached their limit but refuse to undergo apoptosis, cell death. Instead, they linger in your tissues like zombie cells. They are not passive, they are actively toxic. They secrete a cocktail of inflammatory proteins known as the SASP, senescence-associated secretory phenotype. This toxic exhaust infects neighboring healthy cells, forcing them into senescence and creating a systemic chain reaction of decay known as inflammaging. The senolytic protocol. To reverse your age, you must clear the cellular debris. This requires the senolytic protocol. Utilizing compounds like Ficodin found in strawberries but required in high concentrations and quercetin, we can selectively target and eliminate these zombie cells. The strategy: high-dose pulse therapy, the Mayo Clinic model. You don't take these daily, you take them for 2 to 3 days in high doses to flush the system, then wait 3 to 6 months. This reduces systemic inflammation and clears the biological lane for youthful, stem cell-derived cells to thrive. mTOR versus autophagy. The metabolic switch aging is also accelerated by chronic mTOR activation. mTOR, mammalian target of rapamycin, is the general of cellular growth. It is activated by protein, insulin, and constant nutrient availability. The problem with modern life is that our mTOR is always on. Constant eating and high-carbohydrate diets keep the body in building mode. While building muscle is vital, constant building means the cell never cleans itself. The janitorial CRW, autophagy, is the counter mechanism. It is the cellular cell-feeding process where the cell identifies damaged proteins and dysfunctional mitochondria and recycles them into raw materials. Autophagy and mTOR are mutually exclusive. To reverse your age, you must master the metabolic switch. Strategies for reversal. The 20-4 protocol, compressing your feeding window to 4 hours. To trigger deep autophagy, fasting mimicking diet FMD, a 5-day low-protein, low-calorie cycle that tricks the body into a massive autophagy event without the stress of water-only fasting. AMPK activation, utilizing exercise and specific molecules to tell the cell that energy is low, forcing it to focus on repair and stability rather than growth. The longevity stack, NMN, spermidine, resveratrol to fuel this massive repair operation. Your cells require specific raw materials that naturally decline with age. In the human code hierarchy, we prioritize 3 longevity molecules, NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide. This is the direct precursor to NAD+. NAD is the fuel for sirtuins, the DNA repair enzymes, and PARPs, the DNA damage sensors. If your NAD+ is low, your repair crew is paralyzed. Supplementing with 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of NMN in the morning provides the spark for the factory. Spermidine. This polyamine is a direct stimulator of autophagy. It works at the mitochondrial level to ensure that the recycling of proteins is efficient, mimicking the effects of caloric restriction. Resveratrol. When combined with NMN, resveratrol acts as a sirtuin activator. It throttles the repair process, making it more aggressive and effective. These are not ordinary vitamins. These are enzymatic modulators. Their efficacy is dependent on timing, dosage, and the presence of cofactors like trimethylglycine TMG to protect your methyl pools. Lifestyle architecture. Foundations of mastery. Even the most advanced molecules will fail if your biological foundation is fractured. To maintain a low donating pache, you must secure the 3 pillars of epigenetic stability: thermal cycling, exposure to high heat, sauna, ADC in extreme cold immersion. 1OC triggers heat shock and cold shock proteins. These proteins act as molecular chaperones, ensuring your proteins fold correctly and repairing those that don't. Use on stability. Steady-state aerobic exercise increases your mitochondrial density. It is the maintenance work that flushes metabolic waste without the massive cortisol spike of high-intensity training. Glucose flatlining. Every glucose spike results in glycation, the caramelization of your proteins and DNA. This creates AGE's advanced glycation end products. By using fiber, vinegar, and muscle contraction before meals, you blunt the spike and prevent the ticking of the epigenetic clock. The sovereign architect. Reversing your biological age is the ultimate act of sovereignty. It is the decision to take the code of your life out of the hands of fate and into your own. By measuring your pace of aging, clearing senescent cells, mastering the mTOR, autophagy switch, and fueling your repair enzymes, you hit the refresh button on your biology. But remember, your neurochemistry and your cells are only the beginning. Even youthful cells require a governing signal. Without hormonal sovereignty, your cells will never receive the youth signals they need to manifest peak performance. In our next session, we will explore hormonal sovereignty, decoding how to optimize your testosterone, growth hormone, and thyroid for maximum human output in a world designed to suppress them. The diagnostic question: what is your current chronological age? And what do you suspect based on your energy levels and cognitive clarity is your true biological age? Comment below. We are building a database of community biometrics to refine these protocols and prove that age is a variable, not a constant. Like this video if you choose mastery over decay. Share it with those who still believe that aging is a one-way street. Decode the clock. Reclaim your prime. The code is biological. The mastery is yours. Time is not your enemy. It is a resource. How you spend it at the cellular level defines your true age.